Welcome to lesson number 9 of my How to Build Software course. Today we will learn how to do user onboarding, employees onboarding into our software. After previous step, after development stage, we did the launch to production server, we have it all running. Now we need somebody to use it. If it's you who is going to use it, you can skip this lesson without any problems, because you know the software, you build it with your team, you know how to use it. But if you want your software to sell, its commercial software, then you need pull in users into your software. Software is for your employees. You need to convince them and make them use the software, learn it, and be willing to do all of that, because it's not easy for somebody else from the outside to understand what's all about and why they need to spend their time on learning something new, some new tool, some new software, some new mobile app. So this lesson will help you with this thing. Why do you need to care about user onboarding? Vitaliy, why cannot I'll drop a link to that person and just ask them to use my software? That does not work like that. So why do you need user onboarding? People generally don't know how to use your software and are not willing to learn anything new. That's how we work. They want to stick to their existing habits, existing software, old way of doing things. So your task as a software founder is to ensure that your users, your new signups, your new users or employees get value out of your app as soon as possible and with minimal friction. We need to think about how to make their activation, or we call it also onboarding, quick, simple and easy. Even if your app users are your employees, okay? You still need to think about that. You still need to sell the idea of your software, why they need to use that in your business, okay? You will be in one of three situations, three types of onboarding. First situation is pretty obvious. You are building business tool, not commercial software, but software for your business, for that your employees are going to use. Second situation is, and third one, second and third, these are about commercial software. You want to create a new recurring revenue stream within your business. Beta users, you don't know whether it will work, would they get value from that software, and you kind of want to test the waters, see if there's some traction, interest. We call it beta users onboarding. You need to start slow with personal manual onboarding for commercial software and see how it goes. You need to talk directly to your users a lot. Oppositely, in full-scale onboarding, you know all the things, how they work. You just need to get as many users as possible, so you cannot afford personal onboarding. You need to fully automate quick users onboarding for commercial software and make sure it works for them well. So I will give you like tools and components that you need to integrate within your software to make life of new users, new signups a bit easier, and to get a bit more users faster and more happier users, I would say. So type number one, you have business tool and you need to onboard your employees quickly and without much rejection, too much rejections, okay? What are the components and tools here? So what are the components and tools here? First of all, it should be personal. It should be trainings and help. On this slide you can see my call with one of our project managers, Diana, and here I'm explaining her how to use a new software tool we created for our business. We have such a business process in our company called weekly scorecard that every manager needs to fill in on a weekly basis. On Tuesday they present it to me like a report, weekly report. So we decided to create a tool, Get My Hours, that will have functionality to cover a weekly scorecard in a bit better way, a bit more automated. So here I'm making call with her directly and explaining how it works, what you need need to do now from now on, how the process will look like. She asked me questions and that's how it goes. When we onboard many employees, like for example we have many developers on the new process, new software, we'll make a call with them, project manager or me or somebody that knows the tool already, and we'll also click the record button on that online meeting, and we'll demo and train people how to use new software and why we need that software. We call it personal training and help to get users, to get our employees on board. Second component is instructions and manuals. It's optional. You can do this if you're doing personal trainings. You can do without that. But having instructions and manual is still nice because it's something recorded, be it video or text or screenshots instruction. That's something you can do once and show with new people, show to new people, and that will work with them. So that's optional, but you need to understand. This is example of how we are doing like instructions and everything we have here. On this screenshot, you can see a wiki page from one of our client projects where we're doing instructions and manuals for our client, for employees, and any amount of text instruction and even video instructions will not replace real human interactions. So if you have this will not, with this you will not avoid personal trainings and help. You will still need to do that. But here the personal training or during video calls or live meetings in the office, it will be a bit easier. So you firstly give that instruction manual to your new colleague and ask them to go through this and try to test the software. Can they understand? And after that they come back to you with specific questions. You don't explain all the basics of that new software. You just answer the questions. So that helps a lot. Finally, for that onboarding for employees, you don't need fancy sign up form in your software or mobile app. You don't need to for them forgot password functions and complex automated onboarding path when they sign up first, because they don't need to sign up for that software, your employees. You go to backend. For example, on this screenshot, you can see our Django administration backend. Most of our software we build with Python and Django Web Framework, and it has built-in on batteries administration interface where we can manage users, payments, and everything. So here usually we will add our new employee, create password, share that password in a Slack or over email or whatever channel we are using, and that person can use login form. The only thing for automated onboarding is login form. Everything else is done by manager that has full access to the admin side and adds users here manually and shares passwords with these users, new employees, manually. So admin backend to manage users. You don't need fancy onboarding path here for business tool type of onboarding. These three components would be more than enough to make sure your employees are a bit eager to start using your new software. Onboarding type 2. You have commercial software that you want to start selling, but you are not sure about the users. You still don't know how to better onboard them, how they will use, what will be the biggest value after that software for these users. You want to go slower, onboard first 10 users, then 20 beta users, make sure they are happy, and only then set up Facebook ads or Google ads and start driving a lot of traffic into your software and automate things. So this beta users onboarding for commercial software, which is slow, which is personal. You're doing a lot of direct talking to your beta users to learn from them, to get feedback from them. So the main components and tools during this onboarding path is, first of all, it's one-on-ones and feedback sessions. You can just, without giving them any password yet, hop on a quick call, meet each other, have an intro call. What's your goal with that software? Why you're looking for what's the problems with your previous old software? Are you using any software at all? You're doing these onboarding things and collect feedback. And even on that call, you can create in the Django backend, you can create password and share with that person, and that person can share the screen. And you can go over through that screen session with your new first beta user and teach that user how to use the software and get value after that. This is a huge thing. One-on-one onboarding and feedback session, it's a must for beta user onboarding. Second component, instructions and manuals. Again, it's optional because you have personal, but if you want to avoid too much communication, too much explanation, and you want to focus more on learning from users what they need on this session, then instructions might be useful, but not like required. Finally, admin backend and to manage users. Of course, you don't need to provide them a huge onboarding path, even though it will be again a bit nicer to save some time on your side, but it's not necessary. Admin backend might be enough. Do it yourself onboarding path, which is optional. I will not dive deeper into this. It's a huge science on its own. I will have a bonus for you in this lesson, where I will share with you more details about onboarding path. Okay. So for now, just we need to understand that one-on-one onboarding and personal feedback sessions is the main driver for beta users onboarding type. With this approach, you will learn more and faster, quicker. With your first beta users before you launch your software, now it's the high time to talk to them finally. Don't automate things at all. Just talk to them, give them, register their accounts manually during the conversation, online meeting, and that's how you get first users and learn a lot about them. Type 3, full-scale onboarding and commercial software. You want to sell, but you build something you, for example, know that it will sell for sure. You know everything how it should be exactly. You know you are going to drive a lot of traffic, thousands of dollars into paid ads, and you cannot afford manual personal touch. You need to automate all the things from ads, landing, sign up form, up to payment, and making sure that users getting first value fast from your software, and you need to automate it. This is third type of software onboarding. Main components and tools. You need full-featured documentation hub, something similar to how ClickFunnels we're using a lot for funnel building. This software has separate subdomain for documentations, help, support channel. They have a lot of things that users can learn even before talking to anybody from the support team. You need to spend time building instruction documentation, full-featured documentation hub. And second important thing, which is a must here for this type of onboarding, do-it-yourself onboarding path. And again, it's like full journey of your customer from the seeing ad, landing, sign up, login, setting up some demo data settings in your software for the first time. Then, for example, if it's a mail newsletter, it's sending out first newsletter. Done. Onboarding path is finished, completed. This topic deserves, again, completely like a separate lesson, a huge lesson, big lesson, not 5 minutes lesson. So I will provide you with that bonus on onboarding path within this lesson. Check for it in the email in this course. If you do these users or employees onboarding in a way I suggest you here with these tools and components, then you will get more users, you will get happier users, and you will get them faster in your app with the tips from this lesson. So don't ignore these recommendations. We've seen a lot of software founders that have been working with us that ignored that. They just develop something, push to production, and just drop the link to the user and please use, and then seeing nobody even registered. For employees, of course, you need personal trainings. For the first beta users of your commercial software, especially when you are not sure about how things will turn out for you, you need to talk to users a lot personally on these online meetings, offline meetings, to conference, go for conference. You need to do onboarding personal for the first 10, 20, 50 users until you learn enough to go back to your software, update it a bit, refactor a bit, and now you can automate part of that onboarding to be ready for full-scale onboarding, automation onboarding with a lot of traffic, with like hundreds of signups. Just don't ignore this step. It might sound like simple thing or maybe not that important, but that's not true. You need to take this seriously. So that's all from me for this lesson. Thank you for watching. Don't forget about the homework and see you in the next lesson.